welcome to America Reads Fun Learning Activities. We are college students who create learning activities for kids. Our fun activities focus on reading, writing, and math. Thank you for joining us to learn today. My name is Hannah. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to interpret a multiplication equation as a multiplicative comparison and how to represent multiplicative comparisons as multiplication equations. Today, we will first learn how to write multiplication equations when multiplying two or more numbers. Then we will learn how to write multiplicative comparisons from our multiplication equations. We should be able to represent multiplication verbally and also written as an equation. Lastly, we're going to be practicing everything we've learned in our multiplication equation collage craft activity.
Before we get started, let's gather our materials. So what you're going to be needing for the simple math activity will be blank sheets of white paper, glue, a pair of scissors, crayons, colored pencils or markers, and a large blank poster paper. Let's first learn what a multiplication equation is. So multiplication equations show how many times a number is added to itself. For example, in the equation 3 times 4 equals 12, the number 3 is added 4 times to make 12. To write a multiplication equation, you use the multiplication sign, which is this x, between two numbers and an equal sign to show the result. In this case, it's 12. For instance, if we have 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of 2 apples, you write it as 5 times 2. This is a multiplication sign, times 2 equals 10. To represent it verbally, you can say 5 times 2 equals 10. This means that you have 5 groups with 2 apples in each group, making a total of 10 apples. Now it's time for us to look at multiplicative comparisons. So a multiplicative comparison shows us how many times one number is bigger or smaller than another number. For example, if you have 3 apples and your friend has 6 apples, you can say that 6 is 2 times as many as 3. You can write this as a multiplication equation where you write 6 equals 2 multiplied by 3. It means that 6 is the same as 2 groups of 3. Another example, if you have 4 stars and another group has 12 stars. You can say that 12 is 3 times as many as 4. To write it as an equation, you would write 12 equals 3 times 4. So, a multiplicative comparison helps us see the relationship between two numbers using multiplication. Awesome! Now it's time for us to start our activity. Our activity is called Multiplication Equation Collage. In this activity, you will draw groups of objects like 5 stars or 5 apples on a paper, then color and cut them out. Next, we will arrange these objects on the poster board to look like a collage and write the number of objects in each group under them. After that, you'll create multiplication equations that show how many times one group is bigger than another. Write the equation and the multiplicative comparisons next to each group. For example, if you have 4 stars and 5 apples, you will write 20 equals 4 times 5, and 20 is 4 times as many as 5. Finally, you'll say the multiplication equations out loud to practice verbalizing them. Let's get started! For my collage, these are the groups that I've chose. I did 4 hearts, 3 apples, 6 bananas, 2 horses, 1 book, 7 circles, 5 cars, and 8 boats. Draw them out and you can color them in and make them as artistic as you want. Next, I'm going to use my scissors to cut out my groups. Perfect! Now that I have all of my groups cut out, it's time for me to glue them onto my poster board. And you can put them in any arrangement you want. Remember, this is a fun collage. There you go. Now that all of your groups are stuck onto your poster board, it's time for us to randomly connect any 2 groups together to start our multiplication equations. So I'm going to randomly connect any 2 groups. I'm going to do the 8 boats with the 1 book. I'm going to multiply those together. I will do the 5 cars with the 6 bananas. I'm going to do the 7 circles with the 3 apples. I'm going to do the 4 hearts with the 2 horses. Make sure to write the numbers above the groups. So 4 hearts, 5 cars, 6 bananas, 3 apples, 2 horses, 1 book, 8 boats, and 7 circles. Now it's time for me to write down my multiplication equations. So on the lines, you just write down the equation. So 1 times 8 is going to be 1 multiplied by 8 equals 8. And the equation for that is 1 times 8 equals 8, and we can say 8 is 8 times as many as 1. Now, for the 5 times 6, we just do 5 times 6 equals 30, and we can say that 30 is 5 times as many as 6, and 6 times as many as 5. Now, let's go to the 3 times the 7. So that would give me 3 times 7 equals 21. So I can say that 21 is 7 times as many as 3 and 3 times as many as 7. So that's my multiplicative comparison. Now lastly, for my 4 times 2. So 4 times 2 equals 8. And we can say that 8 is 4 times as many as 2 or 2 times as many as 4. And that's my multiplicative comparison. And now for the last part of your activity, just go over all of your equations and make sure that you've completed the multiplications correctly. And then you can read out your multiplications with your multiplicative comparisons to a friend.
Thank you for learning with us today. We hope you come back to learn some more. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and we will be back with more videos. I hope that today you had a great understanding of what it means to interpret multiplication equations as comparisons and to represent verbal statements of multiplicative comparisons as multiplication equations. Thank you for watching. Bye!